Hello our autonomous fellows, like we have said in the previous video, which is about what academic autonomy is and the levels of academic autonomy. This one would be about how you can gain academic autonomy. But first, let's see which factors affect your learning. In general, there are two big chunks of factors, internal and external. Please notice that we will not provide close explanation for each factor. Instead, you can do some research online for deeper understanding. Regarding the internal factors, emotion plays a vital role. According to a speech called How Emotions Impact Learning from Cambridge University Press España, negative emotions tend to make people focus more on the threats or what makes them fear, while positive emotions allow us to see the big picture, make connections and change our thoughts. Then we are more creative, which builds our capacity to learn. Learning strategies. There are some useful cognitive strategies such as repetition, note-taking, contextualization, asking questions for clarification, and metacognitive strategies for learners such as attention, self-monitoring, and self-evaluation. You can look for more details in Chapter 4 of an article called What is Learner Autonomy and How Can It Be Fostered of Dimitrios, Thanasoula. And the third one is learner attitude, which is simply the attitudes that learners hold about their role in the learning process and their capability as learners. And ability is also one of the most important factors that affect one learning. These include intellectual ability, prior knowledge, and attention spans. Next are the external factors. The first one is the learning environment. This includes the collaboration of other students or the atmosphere of the environment. Such elements potentially drive a student bored or engaged. The second factor is the instructor. Since instructors are people who operate classes, they play an important role in students' motivation to study. This includes supporting students, creating environments, and teaching methods that promote academic autonomy. Besides, there are also some off-campus factors that might affect one's academic autonomy. But since we find it unnecessary for the ultimate goal of our work, we would only list them out and let you do some further research with our provided research. For example, culture and personal circumstances. So, we suggest the ideal time for students to work on academic autonomy is secondary school. According to Learner Autonomy, Oxford University in 2015. This doesn't mean that you cannot practice it after that period, so don't worry. Now, take a moment to note this down. There are some fundamental skills that we think you would need to practice in order to utilize the framework. The fundamental skills include critical thinking, which is to question yourself and things to learn, things to do. And the second thing is the basic researching skill to learn as much as you can by yourself. Now, this is the most exciting part of the entire video. Behold! We have been mumbling about how good academic autonomy is, and you might be like this guy right now. The question now is, how can we students and teachers cultivate academic autonomy? Considering your worry, this is a framework our group has developed to help you with that. But before that, please keep in mind that knowing is not enough, but you have to practice to master it. Now we'll go into details how students and teachers cultivate academic autonomy. Some frameworks have been suggested before by Gibbs, Thanasoula, etc. Based on those materials, we have come up with our own framework, which we found most suitable for us. In this framework, the first step is conducting a self-assessment process, which is extremely important. In this step, you will have to evaluate yourself to see how good you are, identify your goals, and come up with activities or approaches to achieve them. By doing this, you would understand yourself more, getting to see the big picture, and then start learning. This also means that you are actively taking responsibility of your own learning. which basically means academic autonomy. So, yay! Congratulations on your first step to be an autonomous learner, but let's get back to the point. The next step is do it. Perform the task that you have listed at the first place. Please remember not only to do it, but you need to be mindful of your feelings, your productivity, and other conditions in order to execute your plan and to maximize your learning as well as the further steps. Then, after finishing all of the tasks, you would need to stop for a while and reflect on the experience. During this stage, you need to retrospect on your learning and analyze it. You would need to list out all of the difficulties, what has helped you learn. By doing this, you would gain a more profound understanding of your own learning journey. Afterwards, you would want to go around and ask for feedback on your learning. Feedback are necessary because even if you are reflecting your learning all by yourself, your thinking bases only on your own spectrum. By talking to others, you will gain further insights which you might have not thought of. Remember to find somebody who is neutral and mindful when providing feedback. You want valuable feedback, which would help you improve, not feedback like this. Then, after receiving your hopefully valuable feedback, take it into full consideration. Analyze it and find the takeaways. Then return to the do it part and keep going through the cycle to achieve academic autonomy, and more than that, be an effective learner. And now is the teacher's role. Firstly, the teachers need to introduce the term academic autonomy to their students. Remember to include what it is, what are the benefits, and how can one form the autonomy. Secondly, be aware of the students' perspectives in the learning activities. Teachers can do this simply by asking students to give feedback and reflection on their learning. Thirdly, welcome students' thoughts, feelings, behaviors into the flow of instruction. Teachers need to understand that it is not always easy for students to learn new and difficult ideas. Therefore, you need to be patient on this, but don't forget to push them hard enough so that they can learn much. And the last one is to support students' motivational development and capacity for autonomous self-regulation. Teachers should actively build a learning environment that promotes autonomy, such as using co-design pedagogy, like at Fulbright. Give students the chance to reflect, the freedom of choices, and prioritize their engagement, especially with who are initially passive. According to a research conducted by Skinner and Belmont in 1993. Remember that this framework does not only take place in the context of classroom, but also in the outside world. Therefore, please take full responsibility of your lifelong learning. So, this is the end of our series. Who are we? We are Julius, Hung-Young, and Mermedy. We are sincerely thankful to and fortunate enough to get constant encouragement, support, and guidance from Professor Kin Ho Jan, who helped us in successfully completing our project work.